You're watching CW Montana. This is the MTN 9 o'clock news.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Andrea Lutz. Ahead tonight, Montanans are being urged to open their pocketbooks and help local nonprofits in your community. We've got coverage from each part of our state on this Gives Day. Plus, an exclusive club, the Yellowstone Club, in hot water tonight for hiding alcohol from the State Department of Revenue. We'll have the very latest on that. But first, the number of confirmed whooping cough cases continues to climb in Missoula County. The number does keep climbing. An update, though, tonight as Missoula County health officials try to get a handle on a rising number of whooping cough cases impacting schools. There are now 32 confirmed cases across the district. And now Frenchtown School District says it has a student with the sickness. The health department is working to notify those close contacts, as they call them. They say if your student starts to develop symptoms, contact a doctor. If you think you have pertussis, cases are also confirmed in Lolo and Florence school districts. Nationwide and here in our state, nonprofit organizations are all coming together. They're asking for your help on Gives Day. We start in our capital city tonight. The Greater Helena Gives Day kicked off its annual campaign. Last year, 480 donors helped more than 70 different organizations during the 24-hour fundraiser. This is what happens. The organizations want you to come together and say, hey, I will donate. Well, this is from Exploration Works in Helena. They're just one of the organizations that is getting some of that money, and they're hoping to raise enough money for their summer camp program.
So last year we had a fund for our scholarship program and it was successful, and we're hoping to expand that this year. We're seeing an increase in requests for scholarships this summer, more than we've ever seen. And so we've exhausted our scholarship funds already. So we're hoping to get some more so we can offer more free camps and classes for kids this summer.
Let's go to Missoula now. Over $85,000 is raised for over 100 organizations as the Missoula Gives donation drive continues. Missoula Gives is a crowdfunding campaign that is powered by the Missoula Community Foundation. Officials say your dollar goes even further with matching gifts and challenge grants. And so far, the Missoula Children's Theater tonight has over $8,500. And in Bozeman, Give Big Gallatin Valley is kicking off. The 24-hour donation drive is a chance for the community to come together. You're taking a look at their website right now as they're counting down this 24-hour drive all the way until 6 p.m. on May 3rd. The drive is presented by Yellowstone Club Community Foundation and the Bozeman Area Community Foundation. And of course, you can see that countdown clock if you head to those websites. That's also where you can donate. Well, on the governor's desk, ready for his signature, is a big bill. It's about lowering prescription drug costs and restricting pharmacy benefit managers. But as MTN's chief political reporter Mike Dennison reports, the bill is pretty controversial.
Senate Bill 71 came from the office of Republican State Auditor and Insurance Commissioner Matt Rosendale, who says if it takes effect, it will lead to big savings for consumers.
It's going to reduce prescription drug costs in the individual market alone by $7.5 to $8 million a year. And again, that's going to go directly towards the reduction of premiums, insurance premiums for the people of Montana.
The bill takes aim at pharmacy benefit managers, intending to modify practices that Rosendale says inflate the cost of drugs. For example, it says if a drug manufacturer pays money to the benefit manager to promote a certain drug, that payment must be passed through to the insurer and the consumer. But health insurers are asking Governor Bullock to veto SB 71. They're the ones who would have to enforce the new law by cracking down on practices by their pharmacy benefit managers, or PBMs, and face penalties if violations occur. One smaller health insurer, the Montana Health Co-op, says that's not only a huge regulatory cost, but that the requirements of the bill may not even be workable. Rosendale, for one, isn't sympathetic.
And they contract with these PBMs. And so now they have to make sure that those contracts direct all of those additional revenue sources directly back through so that the consumer gets the benefit of that.
Rosendale says he's hopeful Bullock, a Democrat, will sign SB 71. But the measure also has some political baggage. Rosendale could be seeking higher office next year, and the sponsor, Republican State Senator Al Olszewski, is already running for governor. The bill reached Governor Bullock's desk on Monday, and he has 10 days to decide whether to let it become law or veto it. We asked the governor last week what he thought about Senate Bill 71. He gave the answer he almost always gives when asked about bills coming to his desk. I'll take a look at it and decide. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
All right, thanks, Mike, for that. Well, the bill passed the legislature by wide margins. Tonight, Montana's delegation is working to secure some critical funding for upgrades to Montana's Milk River. The Milk River project, it sends water to about 18,000 Montanans and irrigates enough cropland to feed 1 million people. The St. Mary's Reinvestment Act will ask that 75% of upgrade costs are covered by federal funding. Currently, local users pay for the maintenance costs. The infrastructure is a century old. New information tonight as Montana's posh Yellowstone Club faces multiple liquor license violations and the state is threatening to revoke. Agency documents say 2 Yellowstone Club establishments were serving alcohol without a license and hiding the alcohol. The inspector seized about 7,000 bottles of liquor plus 31 kegs. The state also discovered establishments storing liquor at a Bozeman warehouse for 7 years. The Yellowstone Club is a private residential club. Northwestern Energy will be getting more help from the sun to power homes in Montana. The company is going to purchase energy from Meadowlark Solar, a 20-megawatt solar project to be developed near Billings. The contract will help Northwestern Energy fulfill its renewable power obligations. The solar project is expected to be completed by the end of 2021. The forest is not a dumping ground. This is the Missoula Ranger District spent hours cleaning garbage up out of Blue Mountain. So take a look at these photos of what people have dumped along Road 365 in the Blue Mountain Recreation Area. Their message is you can get a really hefty fine for doing this. If you are caught dumping trash in the forest, you're looking at $5,000 in a fine. And if you see dumping, well, Missoula Ranger Station says you should report it. New details tonight on a fire bond as Summers Fire asks voters to approve a $4 million upgrade to their facility. Trustees voted to move the bond forward in July. The current building is over 60 years old, and Samuel Spence with the department says it shows. Aside from a leaking roof, the building isn't big enough for their modern fire trucks. A new site is already selected if the vote goes through.
The trucks were different size back then, and a lot of our trucks have a really tight fit into the hall, both for width and also for depth. So we have 2 trucks that we actually had to modify the building and like bump out the back wall of the building to get them to fit.
The taxpayers would pay an extra $24 per home, valued at about $100,000. School district ballots are in the mailbox in Belgrade, and tonight we're learning more about several items that voters will have to decide on for the future of those schools. MTN's Cody Boyer fills us in on what voters need to know.
This is about something bigger than us, bigger than me.
Belgrade Superintendent Godfrey Saunders says it is about looking at the bigger picture. In this case, a much-needed technology catch-up.
The average life of your best Chromebook is about 3 to 5 years. A little over 800 of our computers in this district are 10 plus years old.
Covering everything tech, the school, he says, is asking for $300,000. Saunders adds current technology funding is cutting short what is needed.
It's $62,000 for each district, and that's not enough money. You couldn't even upgrade the technology for the teachers alone.
The superintendent does say that it's not just fun and games when it comes to the overall education of the kids here in Belgrade. So any little bit going towards technology could help go a long way.
To make learning fun itself and exciting, but also challenging at the same time, you need to be able to institute and have technology at hand. That's important. It's critical.
History teachers like Joe Rossman agree.
Well, it could supply new computers. It could supply faster internet. It could supply maybe a smartboard to classrooms so that we could show information, especially in history, of events that happened hundreds of years ago.
Saunders says while the levies are important, so is another vote. 3 open board positions. With 4 people running for the spots and funding both on the line, he hopes the voters consider all options.
These are our kids. This is our legacy and what's important for our community.
In Belgrade, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Certainly a lot for voters to be thinking about in Belgrade. Homeowners with a home of about $100,000 would pay an additional $22 a year if those are approved. Well, still to come on tonight's MTN 9 o'clock news, our John Amy. He is in the mining city where a simple formula could help revitalize Uptown Butte. We've got that story. And Bob McGuire says rain is on the horizon for a lot of Montana, but this weekend could be a different story. He's got your full forecast after the break.